Hello, 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 making a clay video, and I want to talk about relationships in this video. And what I want to say is that the only form of relationship that I think is working, okay, and this is just my view on it, other people have other views, of course, and I'm tolerant to other people's views. I will just simply state my own views and I will explain why I see it the way I do. And I give my facts, I give my knowledge, I give my reasoning, okay? And I leave the rest, of the reasoning to other people and to come to their own conclusions. So I'm not going to force anything on anyone. But this is how I see it. I think that a real good and functioning and respectful relationship between two people or between many people or anyone or any kind of relationship or business partnership or any kind of partnership, okay, should be based on an egalitarian system and on just equal rights and on equal respect and on freedom of speech and all of this. And the same goes for a romantic relationship. So, I'm a straight woman. I live with a man. I am married. And I don't believe in marriage. We did this for other legal purposes, and saved us some tax. So it's all good. And but as a traditional institution, I don't believe in it. So it's nonsense, in my opinion. So, and I don't believe in anything traditional and anything that is conventional or that is conservative. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I'm a progressive, but not in a liberal way. I don't like liberalism. Okay, I like rational sensism. Okay, I like futurism. So I'm a futurist, really. I'm a cosmist. I'm a panpsychist. I know that everything has a form of consciousness to a degree, and I believe that it is that existence poses a risk. Okay, I believe in very strongly what Dr. David Benatar said, that putting a being into existence is really posing an imposition and a great risk upon that being of the risk of suffering at some point, or even if that being doesn't suffer at all, we are playing with fire, we are putting this being into existence, and this poses a great risk of suffering. Just the risk alone, this taking this risk of putting a being into existence, whether it is a human baby, your own biological child, or you are breeding a husband and wife dog. So, yeah, that too, you are making them have puppies, and then they are exposed to existence, and existence poses a risk of suffering. Okay, so that's how I see it. I mean, I don't condemn people that breed European Basset Hounds because I'm a fanatic fan of European Basset Hounds, and I have to admit, I'm not a god. I'm not perfect. I am leaning towards buying one, because I'm just such a fanatic fan, and I dream about them at night, and I need them. I can't live without one. So yeah, but I have a lot of criticism towards breeders in general. First of all, the risk of coming into existence is pretty harsh. And then they're also breeding dogs that have where the female has a lot of puppies. Human greed created this. The original wolf had, I think, maximally 3 puppies. A Great Dane has like 14 puppies. And sometimes they have to do a cesarean section so that the mother survives this. In the wild, this would revert back to the original wolf or something like the wolf. It would eventually in time revert back to that because a dog giving birth to 14, or I don't know, sometimes up to 17 puppies. That's insane. That can kill the mother, and in the wild that would, because they don't have an obstetrician who can do a cesarean section in the wild. Okay, so all of this is very. Maybe I'll make 2 videos about this because there's so much ties in with this. Okay, all of this has to be said. All of this needs to be talked about. So, but back to relationship issues and relationship in general, I recommend not to breed humans and dogs and any being. So, because I want people to read the book by Dr. David Benatar on the risk of suffering, and I think suffering is just never justified, ever, okay, for anything. So, but, that is a very theoretical viewpoint, of course. In practicability, in reality, we are living biological beings, and the biological urge to give birth can vary. In civilization, I had 3 abortions, so I would always use birth control. In the past, I was a little bit reckless with this. Now I would always use birth control, even though, I'm not in my 20s anymore. I still don't want to, I wouldn't take the risk because I know very well that I could still get pregnant. So I would definitely use birth control. And let's say if we had anarchy and a situation broke out, and where you can't have an abortion because there's no more abortion doctor available, and in times of great turmoil, or where there's a lot of people that have passed away because of a pandemic like this one that could easily escalate to that point. So all of these things, all of this, nothing is written in stone. Nothing is, I never know what's going to happen in the future. So, but if I was in a situation where I was with is a guy who, and we don't have birth control, then yeah, of course, what are you gonna do, But then if you don't have birth control, if you don't have the chance to do an abortion, then what are you gonna do? Then that's biology that's taking its course, So, and because we are biological, living, breathing, feeling beings, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's also no shame attached to it at all, okay? There's also, my mother tried to shame me for being girly, for example, So there's a lot of emotional pain that is attached to actually living out that girliness that my body feels to live out. So I can't even allow myself to live that girliness out that I actually have, by nature, because my mother stigmatized all of this and shamed me for my sensuality and my femininity. So it's all pretty drastic. It's all pretty rough emotionally, So my life has been very, very rough emotionally, and I suffered a lot, okay? But I broke free. I had to break free from them. There was such a massive, massive, massive liberation for me, for my health, for everything. It's huge, So that's why, I see a lot of people that are dependent and attached in some way, in some kind of bind, financially dependent or emotionally dependent, or they have fear, or they suffer from different things, so that makes them dependent on other people in terms of relationships. All of this is not good. That's not healthy at all. So for anyone, for whatever relationship, whether that's just a friendship with family members that is not beneficial, or whether it is an unbeneficial romantic relationship that people suffer from, I always recommend to people to break free when they are suffering. Sometimes people don't even know that they're suffering. Sometimes it's so unconscious. So, but that's why I recommend for people to go into meditation, to do meditation every day, and to become aware of their own personal needs and who they really are, who they actually are by nature, and what they really want. Do they really want to, change their appearance with plastic surgery, or do they really want underneath to be loved for who they actually are, the way they look? So there's so much suffering in the world, and this goes into it splits up into so many side subjects. But in terms of relationship, I highly recommend an open relationship where, and I'm gonna make part 2 because it's running out now. This is such a big subject that requires at least half an hour. So maybe I'll make even more, then talk more about it tomorrow too. But I'm gonna make part 2 today too. So the open relationship is the only healthy way to coexist with other people. Okay, I'm gonna make part 2. See you later.